You're tuned in to the Brand Ambassador Select Podcast.
Welcome back to the Brand Ambassador Select Podcast, where we are showcasing the coolest brands and gifts while featuring movers and makers. I'm your host, Lenore, and you'll never have to tie your shoelaces again with the Xpand No Tie Shoelaces. Their lead product designer, Rhys Clark, joins us on this episode to show you how to slip your shoes on so quickly that you'll never have to worry about laces becoming untied and never have to worry about them looking with the bows looking not put together. I got all these laces. We have our shoe ready to go, and I'm excited to see how we can put these on any shoe that we have in our closets. So, Rhys, welcome to the Brand Ambassador Select Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited for this.
Oh my gosh, you're excited. I'm excited for XPand Laces that my shoes will, one, look pretty again, two, I'll never have to tie again, and three, I could just slip and go, right?
Yep, exactly. It takes away so many hassles you didn't even know really existed. So yeah, it's a great product.
So tell us all about them and how this design even came about.
Yeah, so the story behind Xpand, myself, I've been with Xpand now for 2 years and I'm the current product designer there. So I didn't design the laces, I designed the belts that I'm sure we'll talk about in a bit. But Chuck, he was our original designer of the laces. And what happened with him is unfortunately he contracted West Nile virus. So that basically caused his feet to start to swell and kind of experience some severe discomfort. So he literally just kind of put on his inventor cap. I think he originally used his kids' Lego blocks and started cutting away at them to sort of make, some sort of device that would allow him to slip his shoe on and off a bit easier. And then he paired that with our elastic material that we now use. And he, created this product that is just like a lace up once and go for the rest of that shoe's life. And then he put it up on Kickstarter, and here we are. Later, that was in 2015, so a good few years later, and we're still going.
So you have two different styles, am I right? You have the original no tie and then the quick release. What is the difference between both of them?
Yeah, so we have, I'll show you here. So on these Vans here, I've got the original no tie. The clear visual difference is the original no tie is a flat lace, and the quick release is a round lace. So the original no tie is basically, it's a completely no tie shoelace. You put them on once, find your right tension, and then for the rest of that shoe's life, you can just slip on and off. It's an elastic material. They're both elastic, but I'll just talk about and demonstrate on this one. It's an elastic material that stretches to allow your foot to slip in. And then the lace anchors lock it down at the right tension so that you're comfortable throughout the day. And also with the material being elastic, as I'm sure you'll experience, you go about your day, your sort of foot tends to swell a little bit. It's not necessarily a nice thing to talk about, but it does. So basically, the elastic sort of moves with you throughout the day so that you can still be in a comfortable form of tension without that sort of with traditional laces, if you've ever had it, where you tie them up too tight and then you get that horrible lace sort of pressure on the top of your foot, which can really bug you after a while. So the elastic sort of eliminates all that, and the original no tie also allows for a complete no bow tie look. So it's very clean aesthetic. The lace anchors can be hidden on the inside of the shoe, as you'll see there, for a slip-on, never tie your shoelaces again sort of a product. And it's also like a bit of a health and safety sort of thing as well. You never have to worry about, say it's a great product for kids and also the elderly. Never have to worry about tripping up on your shoelaces and having a bit of a nasty fall. So that's the original no tie. And then the quick release is the exact same, except from it allows you to adjust the tension a little bit. So it has an external lock on the outside here, which if you just lift up, then comes loose, so that you can sort of tighten it and loosen it within a certain margin to really find your right tension. So we sort of recommend this lace more for performance or activity specific sort of things that you'll be doing, whether it be like running or hiking, things like this, just so you can really find your right tension. I know that a lot of runners like to have a really tight lockdown if they're doing a race day, but then if they're on a more casual run or something, maybe a little bit less tension. And we also have reflective options. So if you look real close there's little silver bits inside the laces. So for nighttime runs or walks, if you're out walking the dog or on a hike, or your kids going to school early in the morning, has that reflective sort of safety element as well, a part of it. So that's how two. We got the original flat ones and the quick release round laces.
So we're all showing them on shoes, and I have a sneaker in front of me as well, and
Yes.
I didn't finish yet. But these laces can you be used on any type of shoe, right? Not just running sneakers or just,
Nope.
look like pretty sneakers?
Yeah, absolutely everything. So when you get the laces, they'll come obviously 2 laces in a pack and all the lace anchors necessary. And they're really, really long, way longer than normal laces. And the purpose for that is so that it can cover the smallest kid shoe when your kid just first starts getting those, non-Velcro shoes, let's say, all the way up to, size 14, 15, 16, huge, like hiking shoes or something like that. So yeah, the laces fully cover every single type of shoe. We've tried and tested many things from, soccer cleats, hiking boots, casual shoes, sneakers, all brands, all different makes, fully covered across the board.
And I did notice that you have them in possibly every color.
Yes, lots of colors. So I believe it's like 24 plus colors we've got now, and some fun patterns that we do on sort of limited edition releases. And then, as I said earlier, the reflective ones as well. So yeah, fully available to match any shoe, or, if you've got a bit, you might have a black and white shoe, but if you just love pink or blue or something and you want to put those in, just kind of allows you to show a bit of your personality in your shoes. Yeah, we've got plenty of colors to choose from. I think even a glow in the dark pair as well.
That's perfect for kids.
Yeah, I feel like on Halloween trick-or-treating, something like that, glow in the dark pair would be pretty cool.
Now, how interchangeable are these? So you have a black shoe in front of you, and I have like a black shoe in front of me, and I have the white laces. What if today I want white, and then tomorrow I want, the black ones or the blue ones? Can I still take them on and off, even though I've already fit them to my shoe?
Yeah, so once they are installed, the tricky part is that you do have to cut them. So once they've been sort of cut down to your size, they will sort of fit you perfectly. It's not like you could necessarily give them to a friend afterwards, and especially if they had bigger feet than you. If they had smaller ones, probably. But yeah, for sure. So it's basically the reverse procedure is how you put them on. You can take them off, put on new ones. They do last a very, very long time, though, so you wouldn't have to. But if it was purely like an aesthetical choice and you were like, I'm tired of this, this glow-in-the-dark phase, I want to put just black or white laces back on it, you can totally take them off and do that, of course.
I definitely want the glow-in-the-darks when I can go to like concerts and raves again, so I can show my non-moving feet because they don't work that way, but I'll pretend that they do, and when they glow in the dark, it's going to look all pretty. Yeah,
no, for sure. They're a bit of a novelty, but they're really fun. They work as well.
Okay, so I have the laces on one of the shoes in front of me right now, and you are 100% right. They are super, super stretchy.
Yeah.
Now, where do I go from here?
Okay, so I've got, here's one I made earlier, but I'll just show you off of the shoe. So on the original no tie, so the flat laces, you'll get 2 laces, as I said earlier, and then you'll get these things here, which are called our lace anchors. And this is basically the magic behind the product. So what you'll do is you'll take out your old laces, as you've already done, and put in the Xpand ones, and lace them up all the way to, the last eyelet on your shoe. And then what we would recommend you doing at home, obviously you don't have to do this here because we're sort of like in a seated position, but you would then put your foot inside and basically just pull them all the way from the bottom to the top to find your exact tension, same as you would any other shoe before you go to do the bow knot thing. And then once you have that, you'll then take the end of your lace, and you'll see on the lace anchor there are 2 circles, 2 holes. And on one end, there'll be this little rigid sort of spiky end. And then on the other end, there'll be a sort of C-shaped little clip. So you want to go through the lace in the one with the C-shaped clip. So you'll push the lace end through that all the way until the anchor touches the inside or outside. It's your preference. If you want the lace anchors to be hidden like this on the inside, then you'll thread the lace lastly pointing in the way so that the lace anchor then rests all the way on the inside. And if you want on the outside, vice versa, if that makes sense. I'm
about to move my laces so they're on the inside. Because I don't know if I want them on the outside, right? Yeah,
I think if you are looking for that completely clean look, then yes, threading them lastly from basically the last eyelet that you want to go through, you want to go from the outside in, and then you'll get that real nice hidden look, as you can see here on that shoe.
Oh man, these are super stretchy.
Yeah, very stretchy. Yeah, it's also a zero memory elastic, so it's not like the more you use them, they won't sag over time. It's a complete zero memory elastic material, so no matter how many times you use them, they'll always return back to the tension you set them at.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay. That's huge for the longevity of them.
So I have my anchor all the way in. And so I guess, obviously, if this was on my foot, it would be a little bit more formed. But it would just sit just like that, correct?
Yeah, perfect. Exactly like that.
Okay.
Okay, so that's step 1. And then step 2 is you're going to go through the second hole now. So over the top and through that second hole. So you'll get this sort of end sort of look here. You see that? So first hole and then over into the second hole.
Okay.
And just pull it all the way through so it's nice and tight.
Think I got it right like that.
Yep, perfect. Okay, and then, so if you take it from the back side, you're then going to pull from the spiky end, so with all the little teeth here. You'll then pull that over and in front and overlap the whole front part of that anchor. And then it will click, if you watch here closely, it will click into those little sort of C-shaped wings at the front.
Huh.
To then lock it over the top. So I'll see if I can show that a little bit better for the camera.
I think I got it right there.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, so just pull, wrap over the top, and then it will click nice and easily into those little wings that you see there. And then that's it. So then if you have a look there, from the outside of your shoe, no matter how much you pull on this, that lace anchor isn't going to come undone. And that's how it holds your tension. Oof,
sorry, I dropped
hit the mic.
I know. I'm trying to see if it was sturdy, and then I just drop it on myself.
No, we've tested our lace anchors with a lot of weight. It definitely won't come undone by anything you're doing just by slipping your shoe on. So the next thing we'd recommend is, just as a safety precaution, you would then put these shoes on and walk around a little bit, just to double make sure before you cut them that is the exact tension that you want. Because you got to remember, once you've cut it, you can't put them back together, obviously. So just, we would now recommend that, you do both shoes, walk around your apartment or outside for a little bit. Obviously, be careful not to trip. And then the last step is to just pull this tight. And we recommend sort of leaving anywhere between 1 centimeter to 2 centimeters of excess. Or if you don't do centimeters.
Wait, hold up. 2 centimeters, right?
Yeah, anywhere between 1 centimeter and 2 centimeters, just a little bit of excess. So if you're looking at it here, probably say where my finger is here.
Ooh, so that's like a half an inch to an inch.
That's half an inch. Sorry, British. We do the other one. So half an inch.
So I went to Google.
Sorry, half an inch, and then using a pair of scissors or a blade. Obviously, if you're a kid, we probably recommend your parents doing this part. But then cut those and just to get rid of the excess, and then that'll be you. There is an extra piece that you can choose to add.
Yeah, I see this little extra clampy thing.
Yeah, so these are actually, if you were going to put them on the outside of the shoe, this would be what you would do. So basically what happens there is, as you cut it off, you'll get a straight sort of edge. So I'm just going to fold this, but obviously if you'd cut it, you'd get a straight edge like this. And if it's on the outside of the shoe, you will then thread through the back part here. So there's the inside with sort of these little prong teeth things. So you want to thread from the opposite side. And you'll just pull it into that gap and then fold it over, and it will click into place to create a sort of locked end cap, like that.
So I kind of like that if I did leave the about 2 centimeters or almost an inch.
Yeah, half an inch.
if I left that open, I think that would, maybe I'm wrong, but that would help me to say if I did, like my foot did grow or it got extra swollen, that I'd be able to release a little bit of the extra extra.
For sure.
Okay, cool.
The recommendation of leaving that little extra part is just so that you can finely tune it, if you will, if you do find them to be a little bit tight. Obviously, it's just, it's the whole thing of once you cut it, you can't put it back. So going that little bit more initially, and then if you realize, no, perfect, nailed it, you can then really cut it close to the edge if you so wish.
So you guys don't just have the Xpand Laces, you have belts and stuff too. Tell us about those. Yeah,
so the belts, those were my projects. So when I was hired, we sort of, we had already had the laces. We had both the original flat ones and the quick release round ones. And my job when I first got hired was, okay, right, where else can we sort of take this technology, this sort of thing, and put it. So we sort of, starting to look around at everyday products, and we came across the belt, which was described, I think the phrase we were using was, the belt is the shoelace of the waist, which, maybe isn't the most poetic saying, but that's how we saw it. There were all these leather belt options that sort of, were sort of the whole system. So you had probably about a half inch in between each hole to be able to adjust, and it wasn't quite right. They'd be quite bulky, and also like, you know, it's something that no one really wants to admit, but our waists do change, and you know, even throughout the day, let alone months. So sometimes your belt can be your sort of almost like a nemesis, really. It reminds you that, oh, maybe you're getting a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller and doesn't fit. So we just basically wanted to take the same sort of idea of, okay, how can we take this elastic comfort that we have in our shoes and take that to the belt? And literally the first product that came from that is the Explorer belt. So that's this one here. And I've got the belt buckle up close. And if you look at it and then look at our lace product, it's pretty much a blown up big version of the lace anchor. So literally my first job was, okay, how can I take the lace anchor and turn it into a belt buckle? And the Explorer belt is what we came up with. The great thing about this belt product is that it is, again, very sort of like thin. It's made of a hard anodized aluminum material, so that it's going to last you, you know, the whole length of your life, absolutely no issues. And then we pair it with, again, a zero memory elastic belt strap that is going to be just like the shoes, a little bit forgiving, so it has a little bit of stretch to it to, you know, accommodate, let's say, a slightly heavier lunch or dinner or something like this.
Pasta and steak.
Yeah, exactly. Whilst also, you know, keeping that secured tension that you would require from a belt. So yeah, it's sort of what I like to call it, like your invisible friend, really. Like, it does the job. It keeps your pants up, but also it allows you to sort of move comfortably throughout your day. And you really, once you put the belt on, you won't even notice you're wearing a belt, which is great. The other thing that we did sort of when designing this is I wanted it to be a modular system, so that, you know, you don't have to just buy a brown belt for one outfit and then I would go out and buy a black belt and then, you know, all these different ones with a bunch of different buckles. Both our buckles, the Explorer and the Urban that I'm about to talk about, are completely interchangeable with the belt strap. So how that works is literally you thread in through the back and it will lock into place like this. You can see from the back here. So locks in, and then you can put the belt on, and then you can also take it out and change color. So say, you know, your outfit for that day, you require a brown belt, you can just, you know, quickly change it. And then also in this sort of, sadly, but in the COVID world, we also wanted to make these machine washable, so that, you know, if you're washing your pants, however often you tend to wash them, nobody ever seems to wash their belts, and that seems to be quite unhygienic to me. So having the ability to take these things off and just throw them in the wash seemed like a big must-have. So that's the Explorer belt. We kind of recommend it for those who really like a sort of slim, sort of low profile, whether you be traveling or just sort of, you know, want that absolutely no bulk if you're not wearing a belt. And then we have our other belt, which is the Urban, which just recently ended on Kickstarter. So that'll be available on our website very soon. And what this is basically the quick release version. So it's 2 parts that slide, and it's a magnetic belt buckle that then clicks together. Most people's faces do what you just did when you first do that. It's like a magic. It is a little bit like a magic trick. So the purpose for that is basically that once you have, you know, throughout the day, whether you need to go to the restroom or just sort of like, you know, just want to take your belt off for a moment, it's a very quick sort of system. You can slide or pull it apart, and then it will magnetically click and lock back into place. So that's the only difference between that and the Explorer belt buckle, is just having that quick release feature, the exact same as our laces.
You know,
yes.
I don't think I've ever washed a belt in my entire life.
No, and you would...
Never.
I don't know. It seems like a strange thing to me, especially if you think, I know from being a guy, you know, if they're standing at, it's maybe a bit too much detail, but say you're standing at the urinal or whatever, there's such thing as splashback maybe, and whatever else happens, even I guess with kids, you know, out on the playground, if they play and get all muddy and dirty, I don't think anybody washes their belts. And in this whole new world where everyone's suddenly like heightened and aware of sort of the, you know, being hygienic, I think it's a great product to, you know, just be able to wear the belt for like, you know, 2-3 days, throw it in the wash and pick out a new color, and it takes a couple seconds to assemble and you're good to go.
I'm actually interested in the belt because I don't really own belts, and the fact that I can wash that, I just like that you can wash anything. Can you wash the laces too if you really wanted to?
Yes. So just from sort of being a shoe fan myself, I would never recommend putting any shoes in the washing machine. Just in general, it's kind of bad for them. But they can go in the washing machine, absolutely, if that's how you clean your shoes. Or if not, we just recommend sort of like a sponge or like an old toothbrush or something and scrub them down. But yeah, absolutely, you can wash them. They can go in the rain. There's no damage that's going to happen from that. So yeah.
Wonderful. So you can grab your Xpand Laces, even the belt, at xpandlaces.com. That's XPandLaces.com. You can check them out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Xpand Laces. That's XPandLaces. Rhys, thank you for joining us and showing these incredible products to us. And I'm actually pumped because the belts aspect, the one you just showed me, I think I'm sold.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to petition to get a glow in the dark version of this now as well, so we can have some novelty. There will be more colors and everything coming soon as well for the belts. So yeah, if you check out our website and our social medias, that would be great. Just follow us.
Wonderful. Yeah, and they're reasonably priced. I'm looking at the belts right now. They're only like $30, and that's really nothing.
No, I think it's a good price point, and yeah, you can pick them up. They also make great gifts for some friends, anybody. That's the big thing, sort of for our laces and our belts, laces especially, moms, kids, the elderly, people with sort of disabilities or like dexterity issues. It's sort of a thing that once you give them, I gave a set to my girlfriend's grandma over Christmas. And now that she's kind of got those on, it should be easy for her to just slip on and off. And, it just takes away a hassle. So yeah, great gifts as well, all our products for anybody that you know.
And I just looked at the laces, $10 as well. You can't go wrong with those prices.
Exactly, you can. And also there's a bunch of bundle deals, I think, that we always seem to have. So sign up to our email list, you'll be able to see those deals as they come through. We often sort of do the bulk so that you can give them to friends or also just cover your whole wardrobe. I mean, I've got like 10 pairs of shoes. I feel like most people have somewhere between like 4 to 10. So definitely buying them in bulk is always going to save you a bit of money. And then you can cover all your shoes and your friends as well.
So you can grab yours at xpandlaces.com. That's XPandLaces.com. Rhys, thank you for joining us on this episode.
No, thank you so much for having me. It's been fun.
So that's a wrap on another episode of the Brand Ambassador Select podcast. I'm your host, Lenore. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss one. More at brandambassadorselect.com, and we will see you next time.